Gotta finish this so I can start up Eco. What up, viewers? What up, what up? Calc Soups here, and today is Friday, January 14th, and that means it's time for a quick recap of the week in video game news. Starting off really strong, the controversial God of War PC port came out this week. It is universally praised, just like the PS4 version was, with a 93 Metacritic. The graphics comparison, there wasn't much difference with the graphics comparison, which wasn't too surprising for a game that was built for the PlayStation exclusively. But the big news is the big controversy when this was announced last year. People, I will never understand why people, grasp so hard at exclusivity. I think most people, especially with PC gamers, a lot of the time they view the exclusivity as a negative thing when you have things like Epic versus Steam exclusives. But console exclusives, I've never thought were that big a deal, especially on the PC side. I know why platform holders prefer to have their games exclusive to their specific console, but PC exclusivity I don't think was ever part of the deal. So I just find that really unique, and that was always the biggest story coming about around God of War. But if you are playing it on PC and noticing any differences, let me know down below in the comments. Another console exclusive coming to PC this week, which again has the same kind of not a lot of technical innovations there between the two. Graphics aren't much different, but I actually think is more interesting was Monster Hunter Rise coming to PC this week. Is a Nintendo game coming to PC, a Nintendo exclusive game coming to PC, which it is a third-party title, so maybe that's part of it as well, but not something you see very often with a Nintendo Switch exclusive coming to PC. So I actually think this is more of a story than the God of War stuff, other than the internet trolling controversy that was God of War. But again, pretty interesting stuff. But pretty good game, pretty good week if you're a PC gamer waiting for some console exclusives. We got to see a lot more of what the open world gameplay will be like in Pokemon Arceus. They had a 13-minute video talking about all the different systems that'll be in the game, and kind of really showing a lot of really good gameplay. So they showed off the crafting system and how you use your Pokemon to kind of collect resources around the open world. How there's going to be sneaking, and you have to sneak up on Pokemon to try and capture them. How you're gonna have to flee away from aggressive Pokemon that can knock you out and you'll lose some of your resources. So a lot of really cool open world systems are really being included in this game. So I'm pretty excited for Pokemon Arceus, but let me know what you think down below in the comments. It's really starting to shape up to a Breath of the Pokemon was the kind of name that popped in my head this week. But yeah, really feels a lot like a big open world and something that people have been wanting to do in the Pokemon worlds for quite some time. Combat will, after if you are unsuccessful in capturing the Pokemon at first, combat will ensue, and that'll drop into the kind of action RPG menus and screens that you're kind of used to for Pokemon battles. But pretty interesting stuff coming out of Pokemon Arceus this week. So, and that's just a couple weeks away. So looking forward to seeing what that's all about. If you're just now hearing about it, Wordle is the craze sweeping throughout social media this week. There's a once-a-day word puzzle that you can do. You have 6 attempts to guess a 5-letter word, and it gives you kind of clues along the way of, after you've guessed a letter, whether or not it's in the exact right spot or it's in the word somewhere but not exactly where you put it. But it's really, if it's on late night and you're hearing about it here now, then you're probably late to the craze. But it is a little fun puzzle with no ads, once a day, no microtransactions. So pretty fun stuff, and it's run through a web browser, so you don't even need a console or a phone to do it. Yeah, pretty interesting stuff, and something I've found myself doing once a day. It's been pretty fun. Big news, big purchase this week. Take-Two buys Zynga with a for a whopping $12.7 billion, making it the new largest gaming purchase ever. I think previous record holder was Microsoft buying Bethesda for $8.6 billion. 8.6? I think 8.6. Don't hold it against me if I'm slightly off there, but I think it was somewhere around that. But I read the article. It talked about, I'll have a link down below to that article. It talked about this is kind of a big bet on casual games, which I actually think is a pretty interesting bet. As the gaming space is slowly growing out, as more people get involved with Game Pass or any other subscription service, I think this lends itself to a more casual gamer that's going to want kind of content that they can consume in small bites. You've always got the mobile market, or a little bit more casual as well. So that's kind of the really big bet, and I think that's a pretty good area to be investing in. I think it's something that we could see a lot more with things like Among Us and oh god, Fall Guys, like these kind of casual semi-party games. I think is a really good area, really good growth opportunity for the gaming space. So something to look forward to there. A YouTuber with a 3D printer has figured out something that Sony hasn't, which is how to make the PS5 controller one-handed, using a series of kind of a pulley system, as well as like a couple little winches and levers. He figured out, he kind of built out how to use the PlayStation 5 controller one-handed. So it's always good to see kind of exclusivity within the gaming space. You love to see it, and just some people's innovations are always quite fun. So I thought this was really cool. I'm hoping that Sony somewhat responds to this. You know, they don't have an adaptive controller like the Xbox does. So something I think they've always kind of fallen behind on. So hopefully this can kick something off, and Sony hears about it, and A, maybe hires the person, but B, at least, you know, sees that this is something people want, and invests in making, you know, inclusive controllers. So something that I've talked about a lot in the past as well. The Overwatch 2 Lego sets have been put on hiatus. The relationship between Lego and Blizzard has become quite tenuous with all of the cultural backlash that Activision Blizzard has been getting. So Lego has kind of stepped away and is kind of waiting for things to kind of boil over or get into a better position. So yeah, pretty cool move on Lego's part to kind of step away from the deal and say, hey, figure your stuff out before we kind of continue with this partnership. So kudos to Lego. Razer had to retract their statement last week, and something I talked about last week in my news report was their new Zephyr Pro masks are not N95 rated. So there was a couple experts that broke it down, talked about the how the N95 rating works. So the Zephyr Pro masks, the cyberpunk looking masks, they have a filter that's N95 rated, but the mask itself is not, because of the hard plastic. And don't quote me on this exactly, but from what I read, it was like the hard plastic can sometimes leave gaps depending on people's facial structure. So that's what makes it not N95 rated. So wanted to retract that. I thought, you know, last week I fell for the marketing just like they did, where they talked about how awesome and how well equipped this kind of new mask was, but they had to kind of walk that back this week. So something to look out for. I'm still somewhat interested in it. I've been using the same cloth masks for quite some time, so I do want to upgrade, and I do just kind of want to look funky and cool with a RGB mask as I walk around in public. So something I'm looking forward to. The latest Geico ad is kind of geared towards gamers, or at least has something that a lot of gamers will recognize. The Portal is featured heavily. The video game from Valve is featured heavily, including voiceover from GLaDOS, talking about how you know, try and do something easy and not hard, like an impossible Portal level. Try and do something easy like switching to Geico. So pretty fun commercial. I have links down below so you can check that out. Last but certainly not least, we got a lot of details on Dune Spice Wars, the upcoming Dune strategy game that I'm very excited about. A FAQ was posted on Steam, and it had a whole bunch of information that for people who are interested. The game will lean more towards a 4X kind of game, so it will be very Civilization-like. The game will have factions and all the stuff that you know and love from those kind of Civ games. So, Dune, Dune Civilization seems like a really good fit for what I'm kind of looking forward to play in a Doom world. Unfortunately, the game will be launching in early access at the end of 2023. I don't necessarily I'm a little bit tired of paying early to play early access games and then kind of see it develop over time, but I do kind of want to get my hands on this new Dune game. So a little of two minds there, but something I am still very excited about. I'll have the whole FAQ posted down below. That's it for this week. If you thought I forgot anything, feel free to leave a comment down below. But as always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy this content. If you do, follow, like, and subscribe to me on YouTube and Twitch so you can see more great content like this. I'll have links down below in the description. Thanks again. I hope you have a super day. I hope you have a super weekend. And I hope you have a super day. Bye!